Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel, honey, and welcome back to another conversation about Miss Carlee Russell. Okay, so I've been coming to you guys regarding all of the details that I've been able to find out about Miss Carlee Russell, this case, this girl, I guess, fake case. We still see, let me say this. We already know a lot of what she's told the officers and what they have reported on has been fake. Her story as to where she has been those 49 hours didn't even make sense. However, I'm going to say it's giving liar, but I also kind of want to put allegedly on it too because it's like we still don't know where she been, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say like this alleged fake case or whatnot because we still don't know what she was really doing within those 49 hours. And we want to verify that. But the fact that she's not even interested in talking to the police is giving that girl, you faked all of this. You know, I've heard different type of rumors where people were alleging that this is something that she's tried to do previously. Like back in high school, I believe it was something she always wanted to plan her own abduction. Is some of the alleged statements that's been put out there. You know, it's just it's been a lot. They also, you know, allege that she can definitely be off the hinges at times. So it's a lot, it seems, to Miss Carlee Russell. And I would love to see her have that sit down. If she feels like she doesn't owe us an explanation, go ahead and have that sit down with the police, have that final interview or however many interviews so that they could go ahead and give us a statement and we could go ahead and wrap this case up and things can be closed. Okay. I do believe that a fine is on, I'm not going to say it's on its way, but I believe that Hoover Police Department is not going to put themselves through all of this and not get something back out of it. So I feel like her withholding her statement may not withhold them from moving forward with being like, girl, here's your huge fine that you're going to have to pay us. So we'll just see. I don't know. This is all my, speculation, I suppose, and just questioning of everything. But I really wanted to come to y'all because of a few things. Yesterday or the other day, I talked to you guys and I was like, I kind of want to hear what some of the celebs have to say. There have not been a lot of celebs to comment on things, but Charlemagne, the god of the Breakfast Club, definitely came to the front to share his thoughts about this matter. In addition to that, Young Miami also followed up and she gave her thoughts about this matter as well. So I definitely want to get their thoughts and things up on the screen. So let's go ahead and let's just get Charlemagne up here first and let's hear exactly what it is that he had to say as he was the one to give her donkey of the day.
For Thursday, July 20th, goes to Carlee Russell. I didn't know if I was going to give her a donkey of the day today because I was like, it may be too early to call this fight and nothing official has come out yet that she may not be telling the truth, but it seems that doubt has been cast on her story. Now, maybe you have no idea about the story of Carlee Russell. Let me refresh your memory. Let's go to WVTM News Channel 13 for the original report, please.
An urgent search tonight for Carlee Russell, the 25-year-old vanishing last night along Interstate 459 in Hoover.
The search is starting immediately last night and continuing into today. Right now, a $25,000 reward is being offered.
Carlee's mom and dad holding out hope, knowing their daughter is a fighter.
It's a chance for her to put up a fight to try to save her life. She's going to do everything she can to put up a fight.
Can't imagine what they're going through right now.
Lisa, what do we know about this case and how it all unfolded?
Well, we know 25-year-old Carlee Russell called 911 last night at about 9:30. She had left work, was on her way home. She said there was a toddler walking alone on the side of 459. She hung up with 911 and then she called a relative. Now, at that point, we believe that she got out of her car to check on the child, thinking that police would be there at any time. Her relative said she heard Carlee scream, and then while it seemed Carlee dropped her phone, the connection continued. When police arrived, they found Carlee's vehicle, her cell phone, and personal items, but no Carlee and no child.
That was the story. A young woman in Alabama went missing. I heard the story. I didn't look into the details. I just saw that a young woman went missing in Alabama after stopping to help a toddler on the side of the road. I reposted it in my Instagram story. That's the least I could do because the reality is I wasn't reposting it because that was an isolated incident. Okay, I will repost in my story any case of a missing black woman or child because the reality, according to the Black and Missing Foundation, nearly 40% of missing people in America are black women and black children, people of color, right? You can go to blackandmissinginc.com to see the disparity itself. It was damn near 600,000 missing people in 2022. 57% were white, including Hispanic. 39% were minority. So once again, almost 40% of missing persons are people of color, but we only make up 13% of the population. And these stories don't ever get the proper media coverage. Okay, it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. Most people don't even know the epidemic that is missing black women and children in this country. So when something like Carlee Russell comes across my timeline, of course I'm going to repost it. And then, you start seeing all the back and forth. People believe her, people don't believe her. Personally, I wasn't on either side because whatever it was going to be, it was going to be. And all you got to do is wait a minute and you going to see. Okay, that minute is upon us. And as my good sister Alicia Renee says, everything what, Leash?
Comes out in the wash, in the rinse.
That's right. And the milk is what?
Not clean, baby. It ain't clean.
That's right. Let's go to Fox 5 News for the report, please.
Following breaking news out of Alabama tonight on Fox 5 News at 5, we're learning more about the disappearance of Carlee Russell.
Police officers in Alabama say Russell called 911 last Thursday. They say that she was calling to report a child wandering off the interstate. 2 days later, after a massive search, she returned home. Officers say before she disappeared, Russell took a robe and toilet paper from her job. She then grabbed food, got on the interstate, and called 911. Police say they also found several suspicious searches on her phone.
On July 11th at 7:30 a.m., the term "you have to pay for an Amber Alert" was searched. On July 13th at 1:03 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "how to take money from a register without being caught" was searched. On July 13th at 2:13 a.m., the day of her disappearance, the term "Birmingham Bus Station" was searched. On July 13th, 2:35 a.m., a search for a one-way bus ticket from Birmingham to Nashville was conducted with a departure date of July 13th.
Oh, Lord. Niggas gonna nig. Now, look, they haven't officially said she lied, all right? But there's a lot of doubt on her story. See, some people study from the Old Testament. Some people study from the LeBron James version of the Bible. But instead of scripture, Carlee clearly has been reading from the self-help book of that French actor, Jussie Smollett. Okay, it's almost like she thought this through, but not really, because it don't take the Scooby-Doo gang to figure out she probably set this up herself. All right, we've all watched too many episodes of CSI, Law and Order. I mean, damn, you got digital detectives, the Instagram PIs of the world. They all knew this wasn't adding up, all right? First of all, why do y'all keep using Google as an accomplice? That's what I would like to know. All right, this is why we need Google to be AI and have like a mind of its own. And when you search certain things, Google should simply be able to ask you why. See, sometimes that why snaps you back to reality. We got to think about some of these questions we ask Google and ask ourselves, how would this sound if I was asking a human? Not just any human, but a human that you know always keeps it 100 with you, all right? If anybody came up to me and asked me, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert? Just think how that question would sound to you if someone asked you. Immediately, you would be suspicious and be like, why? Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be a why for me. My reply would be, I don't know why you asked me that, but whatever you planning on doing, don't do it, okay? I'm serious. Whatever you search in Google, ask yourself, how would this sound if I asked it out loud? Would you ask a room, hey, man, how do you take money from a cash register without being caught? That right there would prompt at least one person in the room to say, whose man's is this? Okay, please check him for a YR and earpiece. Carlee, if you don't sit your stupid ass down somewhere, that's why you run things by people and not Google. Use Google after you run it by people. I'm not even going to get into the movie she was searching. You really going to search Taken and then allegedly faking abduction, really? Okay, I'll tell you some other movies that she should have been searching that she can relate to. I got a list. Dumb and Dumber, Dumb and Dumber 2, Ridiculousness, that's a good TV show. Stupid Is as Stupid Does. Wildin' Out, because she was wildin'. Okay, A Stupid Idea, that's a good flick. These are all real movies and TV shows, by the way. This Fool, that was on Hulu. Okay, what you think she at home Googling now? Caught. Mardia Goes to Jail. Orange is the New Black. Life. I'm just saying. I saw the good brother Roy Woods make a great point yesterday, and he said, get your jokes off, but be careful with the outrage because you're dealing with a sovereign court system that loves to make an example out of black folks, and that girl knows she lying will turn into, damn, they really gave her 5 years just that fast. Now, look, Carlee probably lied. Well, don't let that distract us from the fact that hundreds of thousands of black women and children are really missing in this country. I don't know why the Carlee story caught fire on social media the way that it did and the others don't. I don't know. Y'all throwing all these conspiracies out there. Well, ask yourself, how come this story blew up but other stories of missing black women and children don't? Real stories of missing black women and children don't. You think Carlee was the only black woman who went missing this weekend? And just our luck, the one story everyone gravitated to is the fake one? I don't know. Doesn't feel right to me. But don't let that ever discourage you from raising awareness to the epidemic that is missing black women and children in this country. 40% of missing people in this country are colored. All right, I don't want to hear people say, see, Carlee and false claims are the reason they don't take missing black people serious. Malarkey, they wasn't taking us serious before this. I don't want to hear y'all say, see, they wasted the police officers' time. No, they didn't. Police were doing their job. They get paid to investigate, and they have to investigate all cases regardless if they are believable or not. That's their job. That's what taxpayers' dollars go to. So don't get caught up in anyone trying to blame Carlee for why they don't take the cases of missing black women and children serious, because they wasn't taking these cases serious to begin with. They don't really look for us. They don't contribute resources to looking for us. Hell, they couldn't even find Carlee, and she wasn't even really missing, allegedly. So that lets you know how unserious they are about the epidemic that is missing black women and children in this country. If you are using this Carlee Russell story to say, see, this is why I don't get involved in the conversation around missing black women and children in this country, you're lying. You never cared to begin with. Please let Remy Ma give Carlee Russell the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. Are you dumb?
All right, so y'all just heard what Mr. Charlemagne the guy had to say, and he chose to give Miss Carlee Russell the donkey of the day. And I understand him like not wanting to like call her a liar flat out, or saying that this whole thing was fake, which is what I was kind of trying to explain at the beginning, is because the full investigation hasn't even been completed. But although law enforcement did not say that she was lying, that's pretty much what they were implying when they pretty much sit up there and debunk your story in front of the entire world. Okay, so there's that. But like I said, Charlemagne was not the only person to come and speak out. Young Miami of the group City Girls also came to speak out, and this is what she had to say. All right. She says, Carlee dead ass wrong. Do you hear what I say? Carlee is dead ass wrong. I don't get it. Like, it's already hard for black people and SHI like this. Okay. She says, Carlee dead ass wrong. I don't get it. Like, it's already hard for black people in SHI like this. Just make it harder. Shaking my head. I'm disappointed. Okay. She also goes on to co-sign what Charlemagne had to say. She says, thank you, see the God. Everything is not mental illness. Everything. And that's what I'm so glad that he said as well, because I was thinking that it could possibly be that, like, either she's really missing or maybe it is mental illness. But then once we hear all of the details leading up to her disappearance, it's given no. If she took the time out to research, plan, and actually put in motion some of the things that she had already researched, then for me, no, that I don't think that's a mental thing to me. That's a calculated thing in my personal. All right. Miami goes on to say some people will do anything for attention. I don't see mental illness at all in this Carlee case. All right. So shout out to her for giving her honest opinion about everything that she felt regarding this case, and her co-sign and everything that Charlemagne had to say. I don't think there are a lot of people that would disagree with him for giving her a donkey of the day. And I could see donkey of the day again in her future, should they actually have that interview that they need to have with her to wrap up this case. And if that interview and the details she provides about that, once they have that meeting with her again, I can see her getting donkey of the day again, because then we're going to know for even more of a fact as the case rounds up that this was fake. And should they present her with any charges or anything, yeah, I can see her getting about 2 more donkeys of the days for sure. Okay. But although Charlemagne came to the front and had some things to say, as well as Miami, it appears as though the neighbors also had some things to say. So I do want to go ahead and get into that article here. They're saying Carlee Russell neighbors are speaking out, and this is what they say. Neighbors of Carlee Russell are speaking out about her disappearance in their neighborhood. Wednesday, the Hoover Police Department released new information in the Carlee Russell case, as many of the neighbors I spoke with, or at least that they spoke with Thursday, say they are happy the Russell family is reunited despite the recent news from Hoover Police Department. However, they want their quiet streets back. All right. They want their streets back. Now, Anna Parker has lived in the area for quite some time now. She says she wants her neighborhood to go back the way that it was. She says, I would love for our street back. She goes on to say, we've had a lot more traffic, and I'm not saying anything bad about the family, but we just want our neighborhood back. I want my quiet street and my quiet neighborhood back. Well, it's going to be a very long time, Miss Anna Parker, before you guys get that quiet street back. And what is giving to me, Anna, for you to just jump out there and say, I'm not saying anything bad about the family. The fact that you would just jump out and say that, to me, that's not necessarily... you saying you want your neighborhood back and you want it quiet, that's not you talking about the family. But the fact that you would say to me, in my opinion, I'm not saying anything bad about the family, is giving, girl, you've been over there talking all kind of shit about the family, honey. All over there running your mouth to somebody like, girl, I knew the mother was fake. Girl, I knew I could have talked right through them a long periodically time ago. So that's what it's giving, girl. You really be over there conversing about them folks. And I ain't mad at you, because that's really what neighbors do when they get a little piece of tea out there in the neighborhood. But for the Russells, y'all might want to take heed, because how y'all existed in the neighborhood before is definitely not going to be how y'all are going to be existing in the neighborhood later. And my thing is, they probably going to make y'all a little uncomfortable. Y'all might want to go ahead and find y'all a new house and put y'all's up for sale. I'm just letting y'all know what it is that I think y'all might want to consider, okay? Because this ain't gonna be going away no time soon. Like, even when the story completely dies down, y'all still gonna be getting those strange, weird, awkward stares and stuff, and it's just gonna be very uncomfortable. And y'all only gonna have y'all daughter to blame for that. And yeah, I hate that for y'all. So I just wanna let y'all know all of that, girl. So figure that out and get all of that together, okay? Anywho, let's keep going. So they're saying, Parker says, as a parent of two young adults, that if it was her kid who went missing, she would be in agony, praying every day for their safe return. She says that's what it's all about. That's what we prayed for, and I can't be upset when God answers our prayers, and he did. So I'm very happy for them that she's back and they know where she is. Now, other neighbors agreed with Parker and said this was the most traffic and attention their neighborhood has ever seen. However, they realize as time goes by, things will go back to normal. Okay, so this is just what the neighbors had to say. And I truly feel like all them neighbors that stood out there at that press conference giving, their opinions or whatnot, girl, it's given they was talking about you. I'm about to play this quick news clip if it lets me, and I just want to kind of see the faces of the neighbors that was running their mouth, girl, because I want y'all to know who was over there talking about y'all.
Hey, foodivores, take your mouth on a summer adventure. Birmingham Restaurant Week starts July.
And we'll skip this ad in just a few seconds, because one thing they're gonna do, they're gonna play their ads. Okay, we will skip that in just a second. All right, boom, we can skip. Now let's see.
From neighbors of Carlee Russell about the effect her disappearance is having on their neighborhood.
Yesterday, the Hoover Police Department released some new information in the Carlee Russell case. Our Shelby County reporter Anjanae Robinson out to talk to some neighbors today about their reaction, their opinions to what they heard. She's live with that. Anjanae?
Well, Jonathan, Sarah, many of the neighbors I spoke with today say they're very happy that the Russell family is reunited despite the recent news from the Hoover Police Department, but they want their quiet streets back. Anna Parker has lived in this area for quite some time now. She says she wants her neighborhood to go back to the way it was.
I would love our street back. We've had a lot more
Well,
traffic.
y'all not gonna show the neighbor's face. Oh, okay,
I
there
don't
we
want
go.
to say that I'm saying that bad about the family.
You're
It's
not
just,
saying that
we just
bad,
want our
Anna.
neighborhood back. I want my quiet street, my quiet neighborhood.
Parker says as a parent of two young adults, if that was her kid who went missing, she would be in agony, praying every day for their safe return.
That's what it's all about. That's what we prayed for, and I can't be upset when God answers our prayers, and he did. So I'm very happy for them. I'm happy that she's back and they know where she is.
Now, other neighbors agreed with Parker and said this was the most traffic and attention their neighborhood has ever seen, but they realize as time goes by that things will go back to normal. Reporting live.
All right. So y'all just heard that they feel like things will go back to normal, and it will over time. But at least now we know at least one of the neighbors, girl, because Anna been over there talking about y'all, and I'm with Anna. And talk your Anna, talk about how you feel, and it's just on P. Okay. Now, in addition to that, I do have some other news stories and things that I want to get into because this particular local news station actually sat down with an attorney to discuss the possible consequences that Miss Carlee could be facing for this overall hoax should they finalize the investigation and indeed confirm that it was fake. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that on the screen because I want you guys to check out what they had to say on this one.
These new revelations could take this investigation in a new direction.
WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn following this for us. Police say this investigation is still ongoing, Aaron, but this new evidence, pretty curious.
Yes, guys, Sherry, the new evidence is very interesting. Now, as you said, Hoover Police Chief Nick Durza says that the department has not decided if a crime has been committed yet. But while they are still investigating, I talked to one legal expert about the possibility of consequences for this case.
I mean, it is a little frustrating to think that all this has been done and we can't find anything out.
Hoover Police releasing new details Wednesday in the disappearance of Carlee Russell. The 25-year-old went missing for 49 hours last week after calling 911 about a toddler on Interstate 459. The new details leaving many with more questions than answers, especially after police revealed searches on Carlee's cell phone.
All of these kinds of Google searches the night before this happened would certainly, I think anyone would agree, would be quite coincidental.
Police revealing there was no evidence of a child on the interstate that was called into 911, which attorney Richard Jaffe says could lead to possible charges.
The statute actually goes a little further than that because it puts into it a person that files a false report or causes a false report to be filed.
Hoover Police Chief Nick Durza says the search for Carlee required help from several law enforcement agencies. He says every possible tip that could have led to finding her was taken seriously, and that takes a lot of effort.
We have put every available resource that we have on this case because we wanted to make sure that we found out everything. We wanted to get her home, and we have.
Jaffe estimates the search for Carlee and the reported toddler she says she saw on the interstate could come with a six-figure price tag.
If someone misled authorities, causing them to expend tens of thousands of dollars in tax money and man time, woman time, there are certainly civil penalties that would occur.
And Jaffe says this investigation isn't over yet, but
ultimately, I think the truth will be revealed.
Now, police say that they are still waiting to talk to Carlee again, but they say they are ready to hear what she has to say when she's ready. And you can expect us to keep you updated right here on WVTM 13. But for right now, we're live in Hoover. Aaron Llewellyn.
All right, so y'all just heard that, girl. There will definitely be some type of civil things that could come down the pipeline. I mean, I just think that makes sense. Like, I mean, if she's not going to be arrested sometimes, you know, in cases like this where people have faked their kidnapping or found to not have been telling the truth, they've been charged, served time, and got to pay a fine. So if Hoover decides not to charge her in any capacity, girl, you really is blessed, girl. Is giving them prayers, was still working on your. But I definitely see a fine because you could tell in the press conference how frustrated they were and how they talked about all of the resources that they used just to try and find this girl and the different agencies that they got involved with this. So listen, you're not going to put them on spotlight on national news and think that they're not going to respond the way they responded to your mom and them and you and everybody else in that press conference. So I definitely see something else coming down the pipeline, especially as they work very hard to get this case closed. I'm sure they're on the phone and texting her parents like every day, like, what about today? 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 So hopefully we could get that wrapped up. Hopefully, you know, Carlee gets the strength to walk down or go wherever the way she walked from that car to wherever she walked to. Maybe she'll walk down to the police department and she'll go and have a conversation with them, so we could figure out some things and that we can move forward. But there is more. Okay, I want to let you guys check out this one last press conference, not press conference, but it's more so an interview. So I'm gonna let you guys check out this one last news story. So let's see what they have to say.
The Carlee Russell case has caught the attention of the nation for the last week. It was a week ago she vanished on I-459. Carlee telling police she stopped to help a child on the side of the road, and then she was kidnapped. She would escape days later in West Hoover. Carlee says she ran through the woods until she made it back home. That was late Saturday night.
Hoover police do not believe a child was on the side of the road at any point. Carlee's call was the only report they received last week. So what's next? WVTM 13's Lisa Crane has been following this story closely for the past week.
She joins us live again in Hoover this evening with an interesting perspective tonight on just about everything that we know so far.
Yeah, so many shocking details came out of that press conference yesterday. It was a lot to process, but we know police are still investigating this case. They did tell us yesterday they really couldn't corroborate any of the details Carlee Russell had given them. We spoke to a Birmingham attorney today to get his take on it.
That's what I think.
Eric Guster spent years as a criminal defense attorney. He says, like the rest of the country, he was pulled into the Carlee Russell case. He says while police didn't come out and say it at the press conference, the message was clear.
She said she was kidnapped and the kidnapping didn't happen. Our citizens are safe. There's not a kidnapper out there. So they use every almost synonym for lie except saying she lied.
He says the search for Carlee wasted the time and money of law enforcement and concerned community members. The father of murder victim Anaya Blanchard wrote about it on his Facebook page, saying his wounds had been reopened and it wasn't okay to bring his family into the search.
Imagine going and searching for someone and they're off doing something else and they're never in danger. And you're thinking about saving this person's daughter and yours was not saved. Beyond angry, super livid, that would be me.
Guster says he worries this case could affect future missing persons cases.
It's going to be much more difficult for African-American women to be believed. And it may actually decrease the number of actual reports of things because people are already afraid that they won't be believed.
He says right now, Carlee needs an attorney to advise her on how to respond to police.
If I was Carlee's attorney, I would speak for her. I would not allow her to speak to the police because anything she says can and will be used against her. I would speak for her. I would go to the mayor. I would go to the police chief and figure out if there's something we could do. That's what I would do.
Now, Guster says the police chief outlined 3 crimes that they believe Carlee has committed. That's theft, lying to authorities, and filing a false police report. He says he is shocked that Carlee has not been arrested on those charges. Live in Hoover, Lisa.
All right, y'all. Listen, I just want to say this real quick. We are going to get into what Anaya Blanchard's father, had to say about this situation. But Mr. Guster, come to the front. We need to talk real quick. I know you're being extremely professional, sir, and I get it, but do not throw them no fucking bones. Do not throw them no motherfucking bones. And shame on y'all for asking him that question. Because first of all, we could tell already that number one, she already has an attorney. Number two, that attorney allegedly don't know what the hell they doing, because what attorney finna sit up there and tell y'all to go to the Today Show? So you're not gonna give a statement to the police, but you'll sit up there and give one to the Today Show? Are you crazy? Absolutely not. And then for you to tell them, well, I would speak for her. I told y'all, I said, if she gave any statement, it's gonna be a little bit of something. It ain't going to be too much different than what we already heard. But when it comes to answering questions, her attorney is going to answer that. She's not going to answer anything, right? So for him to say that he would speak for her, that's not too far-fetched. I could see that as well. But my thing is, don't throw them no bones. Talking about, I'll speak for her. I'll go to the mayor, the Hoover Police Department. Nah, they know their job. They getting paid very well for their job, because I'm sure they scrubbing, watching all kind of stuff on social media, and whatever the case is, prepping the case or however they can help her. No, talking about something that he'll go to the police station and figure out what is it something we could do. Absolutely not. I hope the police say absolutely not. It's nothing that you could do. But don't throw them no bones. Let that person, whoever they hired to be an attorney, work for that check. If you ask me, don't teach them how to do their job. Let them figure it out. And I'm so glad they brought up Anaya's dad. Anaya Blanchard. For a lot of people that don't know, Anaya Blanchard went missing. I believe it was like in 2019, sometime in the fall, September, October, she went missing. And she, I think, had just left like another family member's funeral, right? And she dropped her little brother off. She was living in Auburn, where she was going to school. She wasn't going to Auburn University, but she was going to school. And she stopped by the gas station on her way home just to grab her some snacks as she head out. Well, she couldn't, like, by the time she got out the gas station, she was approached by a guy that ended up shoving her into a vehicle. Okay. Put her in the passenger seat. He started driving her vehicle, and he was driving it towards Montgomery, Alabama. They could not find her. Nobody could locate her. They ended up eventually finding her car, I believe a few days later, in an apartment complex in Montgomery, Alabama. Continuing to search for her. I can't even recall. Maybe I think they could have gotten some tips on where this guy may have taken her. I think it could have been possibly 2 men involved. And then one man, I think he ended up being cleared, but then they continued to charge the one guy that actually harmed her. So it was being stated that when they were in the vehicle, according to the suspect, he said that Anaya tried to grab at the wheel or something like that. I don't think she was able to get out of the car as he was on the interstate, but she tried to grab at the wheel, and he ended up shooting her. I believe he could have shot her in her side or something like that. And that's the story that I knew about. And then at a later time, they were able to find her. And I do believe that she was located in the woods in like a shallow grave, because when they found the car, they definitely saw that it was blood inside of the car. So they figured something violent definitely happened to her. So it was just really, really sad. Like, we all was like searching for this, like, not so much as searching. I do believe her mom had like search people, trying to find her. Definitely had people come out trying to find where this young lady was. But what I meant to say is that we were all up in arms and praying and just so concerned and so worried, only for it to end like this. So it's like, Carlee, for you to be found, like the same emotions that we had with Anaya, we had with you. And yes, it is definitely absolutely a blessing for you to have been found and it not be a sad, sad story, a horrible ending, the way Anaya had her ending. And for us to know that you sat up here and you played with that, and this is something you planned, and according to your friends, allegedly, this is a mental thing, like not a mental thing, but more so things that you've thought about doing as far as, faking a kidnapping or whatever in your past. Girl, we on your ass, because I can't take that. This shit is serious, and you decided to come to the front and play because you needed some fucking attention. Like, throw the book at her. I really don't. At first I was like, nah, don't arrest her. But when I really sat and thought about it, girl, get her the same thing y'all gave the little lady, what's her name, Sherry Papini or whatever her name was. The same thing y'all gave her. Go on, give it to her. Give it to Carlee, because it is what it is. You're gonna learn something, okay? And Hoover gonna definitely make an example out of you. But all in all, as they brought up Anaya Blanchard, I also wanted to say this. Anaya's mama got out of her bed, came down to Hoover, Alabama, to assist in a search for a young lady that technically was not damn missing. A young lady that could have been somewhere possibly watching the news like everybody else. Watching this, like watching everybody search for her, and probably was getting a damn kick out of it at some point. You know what I'm saying? You got this lady out of her damn bed, got her emotions back involved, and all of that. And I just don't think that's right. Anaya's mom came out and gave a statement earlier this week. I did not play it for you guys, but I did check it out. And because people were believing that she was lying and it was getting really, heated, and it was like more and more and more things coming out, Anaya's mom just said she didn't know. All she knew was that a mother was missing her child. And a lot of people do not know what that feeling is like when you cannot put hands, you cannot talk, you cannot reach your child. And I can imagine how excruciating that is. Right. But she says, if y'all are still wondering whether or not it's an abductor out there, she's like, yeah, it is. It's a lot of them. Right. She was like, so whether you know for sure what this person looks like, just to know that they in your neighborhoods, they're everywhere. Like, there are a lot of people out there that are violent, that will kidnap you, that will harm you, snatch you up. Like, you should always keep your head on a swivel, in so many words, is what she was saying. She couldn't really speak to Carlee's case because she didn't know necessarily for sure, but based on her own experience and the reasons that she went out there, overall, she's like, y'all need to always have yourself covered, you and your children, and just be mindful, right? Well, once the press conference came out and it was like, listen, girl, this is clear. All right. All the allegations people were making, the Hoover Police Department actually investigated, and come to find out what the people were already out here saying wasn't wrong. So somebody had to be connected to Hoover to know about what the hell we was learning already. Okay, so they pretty much said, just like Mr. Guster said, honey, they pretty much said she was lying without saying exactly that she lied. All right. So with that being said, Anaya's mom was supposed to do a video on yesterday, and she said, guys, I am still trying to process everything that I've learned. Please give me, like, I will do something. I will say something on tomorrow being today. So she's likely going to come to us and let us know something about her thoughts on today. Okay. But for now, I do appreciate her ex-husband, which is Anaya's dad, letting us know how he feel, because what he has to say is similar to what her mom's friend had to say, because her mom friend was very upset that her time was wasted, and y'all reignited those emotions in her from when her daughter went missing just a few years ago and found unalived. So, girl, I cannot, but I'm glad that the father had some things to say. So let's go ahead and get his statement up here so we can get into it and just see what he has to let us know. All right. So this is what Anaya's dad said. He says, as you know, I don't post, but wounds have been reopened during this process. I have to say that I have Jesus Christ to heal me, and that's all. This is not the way I want to feel, but for the people who made contact to check on me, thank you. Today was not a good day. I simply consumed myself with work to avoid the coverage. I'm laying here just in tears, but I'm good. He says, Chelsea Clark, my daughter checked on me and I appreciate her. He says, this is not okay. Please understand, this is not okay to put my family through this by bringing Anaya Blanchard. Come on now. Up by bringing Anaya Blanchard up during this. My daughter was kidnapped. Come on. And see, he about to listen. It's getting me a little emotional up in my chest, because he is listen. I can imagine. Y'all talk about it's excruciating to know that your child is missing, and then now you got to go back to that very moment. What? And she was really fighting for her life. Do you hear what the fuck he is saying? People don't want this type of hurt, is what he says. This girl legit fought for her life. And Carlee, you got your ass up there, okay? And you gave a statement according to the police, girl. You got up there, gave a statement to the police saying that a man came out the woods, snatched you up, threw you over the fence, put you in the 18-wheeler. You were able to escape the 18-wheeler. You started running. They snatched you up, put you back in the car, put you back on the 18-wheeler. You woke up another day being fed Cheez-Its and all this stuff. Like, it just did not make no logical fucking sense at all. So make it make sense by not avoiding the police and bringing us facts that's going to lead us to actually believe that this happened to you. Change our minds, because it's really set in stone at this point. Now that I done went over to the other side. And you done sat up here and created this elaborate ass story when we have all these women that's still out here missing. And this man's daughter that was found unalive, who was actually out there fighting for her life, and then your mom and them get their ass on TV, the Today Show, knowing that they know the facts of the fucking case, and gonna sit up there and say, yeah, she fought for her life. Yeah, oh, she fought for her life. Yeah, oh yeah, she made it back to us. Oh yeah, she did that. Oh yeah, that happened, all this other stuff. Yeah. Like, girl, no ma'am. If you do not believe your child, that is okay. Just don't get on television trying to convince everybody else that, yeah, she's telling the damn truth. And instead of focusing on the discrepancies within your daughter's statements on the front end and the back end, you get your ass up there trying to convince people that she's traumatized from the allegations and everything out there. No, she needs to be traumatized about what the fuck the police finna find out, and what y'all finna find out too, that y'all may not have known about. Talking about some damn she traumatized. No, y'all did that interview to continue to make your daughter the victim in the situation. That's what y'all did that for. And to try to call out, to make to pretty much make the people the problem, not so much as, you know, whatever's going on with Carlee, but to make the people the problem. If you could not speak on the details of the case, why go and do an interview? Only for you to start out the interview speaking on details of the case. It makes no logical sense. So whatever attorney y'all got, y'all need to fire them. Y'all not gonna get that money back. Whatever coin y'all done gave, if it's a family friend, stop talking to them, because they not helping y'all. They not helping y'all at all. Okay, so at this time, that is really all that I have. I just wanted to come to you guys with some tidbits, let you know what some of the celebs have been saying. We got into Charlamagne's donkey of the day. We got into the things that Young Miami had to say. We even heard from some of the neighbors and how they're feeling because they want their neighborhood back. We also got into the consequences of what could possibly come if not any charges as far as her arrest. We have learned that it could be civil because of the money and resources spent to, you know, locate a person that just walked home on their own. All right. We also got into what Attorney Guster had to say, and him over there trying to help the attorney and throw them a bone. Don't throw them no bone. If you feel like you knew the very night she went missing that it was a lie, don't throw them no bone. But I know you was being professional, but absolutely not. We also got into what Anaya Blanchard's mother and father had to say regarding this situation, although we're still waiting for more regarding the mom and what she has to say now that the press conference has happened. Okay, so I just wanted to, you know, give you guys that. You guys can definitely continue the conversation down in the comment section. Okay, be sure to like up the video if you have yet to do so. I am Jamie, that's me. That's all that I have at this time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Threads at JamiThatsMe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.